to The Balanced Breed. The Balanced Breed is an online discussion program of the Vessels of Gold, where we discuss and bring balance to real-life issues that affect lives, the homes, and the society at large. All these in a bid to shine the light in our dark world. Today's edition of Balanced Breed is tagged, "It Was Not So," and our focus is on cheating. Cheating is a disheartening trend that has engulfed our world today. Lives have been destroyed, businesses crumbled, reputations ruined, homes and marriages and families have been scattered by this menace. Despite the havoc wreaked by cheating, it keeps rising, and the rate is alarming. With me tonight to discuss this topic are two wonderful people. On my left is Dr. Charles Mbemena, a medical doctor married to a female wife and 3 lovely kids. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
And on my right is Mrs. Fina Ongora. She's an educationist and a businesswoman, married to a male husband with 3 wonderful kids as well. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sir, cheating is something that has engulfed our society. According to dictionary definition, it says cheating is the act of deception, fraud, trickery, and imposition, or infidelity. These days, we have witnessed the high rise of cheating in our society. Doctor, sir, can you tell us why cheating is prevalent in these times?
Thank you once again. I want to say that, like you defined infidelity, which you defined in a nutshell as an act of being unfaithful to a spouse, can be either physical or emotional. It's important we lay that marker down. It can be physical when sexual activity is involved. It can be emotional, and it can be both. If you are talking about infidelity being on the rise, I want to say like in these last days, infidelity is also in competition for notoriety. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 3:4, the Message Bible, that in the last days, people will be addicted to lust and allergic to God. And so, the reason we're here this evening about your question is, what feeds this addiction to lust? Why is it on the rise? That brings me to the number of causes, what you can call causative factors for infidelity. I have as number one, excessive use of the internet.
Okay.
Technology has enabled infidelity. The ease with which people make friends across the divides through platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, and all of that. You find cases of married persons who are friends with so many people on Facebook, and through those platforms, and of course, chatting up with people you don't know, have inadvertently invested their emotions in the opposite gender, and that has led to infidelity as well. You find also people that are unable to solve their relationship problems at home, carrying it to workplace. Because they have a listening ear at the workplace. And once you have a listening ear that you don't have at home, you invest in those ears, and then before you know it, you get emotionally entangled, especially if those ears are of the opposite gender. You also have pornography. Pornography has become so easily accessible. I have 3 boys at home. I tell them it's just a click away.
Just a click.
And so technology has enabled dangerous and harmful habits that inevitably have led to illicit sexual behavior. There are so many of them, a gamut of issues. Amongst, example is people that have to live apart from their spouses, long distance, living apart for a long time, maybe for work reasons. I've also opened the door for those who are prone to get involved. You have people that have, maybe they are not sexually fulfilled at home for one reason or the other, and they find it outside the home. These factors exist, but I think that in the 21st century, these ones I mentioned, they have always been there from time, but in the 21st century, technology has facilitated this act of infidelity much more than anything else.
Thank you very much. We get to see the rise of cheating or infidelity these days, despite what the scripture says. Let's consider Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable among all, and the bed undefiled. But fornicators, God will judge. Despite this warning, this fearsome warning, people still engage, and just like the doctor has pointed out, yes, reeled out some reasons. Ma'am, from the women's perspective, why do you think women would cheat?
Well, why do I think women will cheat? I have always believed that cheating for women is a very rare occurrence and a very difficult. It's not something you easily find on a day-to-day life like you would do the men folks. Why? Because I like to look at that definition of cheating as being subjective, okay? Being subjective in the sense that some people feel, like the men folk feel, that cheating, some believe that in their culture, they are entitled to more than one woman, more than one wife. So that's why I say it's subjective. So when you are married to such a man, cheating is not, him having another extramarital affair is not cheating, because based on his culture, he's entitled to more than one wife. So, but when you come back to the woman, will I use the word subjective for the cheating definition? No. Because whichever angle you want to look at it, cheating is not a norm that has been encouraged for the woman. Being from the traditional angle, going to the religious angle, it's never been a thing that has been recommended or seen as a norm. Or we can say, let's define cheating to be subjective in the terms of a woman. So it's not a norm. So it's a rare thing that you really will find. But what will make a woman, after all these rare occurrences, after all these cultures that won't permit you, religion won't permit you, what will make a woman wake up one day and say, I'm going to cheat? There are many factors that could lead to that. And one of these factors, the doctor has already mentioned it, in the case of where there is lack of attention being given to the woman by the spouse, by the husband. I've seen a case where a couple who are married together for over 12 years, and like the past 7 years of their life, the husband hasn't touched this woman. As in, this is a real life story. I'm not telling you what I read. I know the couple. Somehow they're around me. So, for 7 years, the husband hasn't touched that woman. Now, everyone has got emotions. It's not enough that he's cheating on her. He's also adding emotional torture to her, both physically and emotionally. Now, having been denied, deprived, can easily fall to anything that comes around her. Very easily. That's one. Then, number two thing that I find very easily that could happen, like doctor put it, the upsurge in the internet that we have today. You know, a lot of people in the days when you lose contact with someone, he's gone. Okay? But today you find a situation whereby couples, relationship that ended maybe some years back, you now discover that you are on Facebook and then you meet this person all over again. And maybe someone you used to be very close and in love with, and then this love gets rekindled by mere chatting, regular chatting. And then there might not be a physical cheating, but there could be some emotional cheating there. You discover that that woman will begin to enchant of this man. It's like each time she's eager to go online, she just wants to go and say hello to him, and then hear him call her. Sometimes the men can be naughty. Some you will hear call them my baby. Imagine where a young man is calling a married woman my baby. And maybe her husband hasn't used that word in a very long while. And so she begins to love to go towards that direction. You know, this is just natural. The heart grows fonder of who gives his attention. Okay? So, aside from that, another reason could be as a result of pressure. This pressure, I like to tie it to family pressure. We could, maybe a child is sick. This woman has a very sick child. Or the husband, the spouse is very sick. And they're in need of money for hospital attention. You have gone through money, nobody is there to help. And then the only man who could help is asking for something in return. Okay? And then the son is dying. Or the husband is dying. And then you discover that this woman has no choice. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, they give in to save a life. This could be a factor, okay, that could make a woman go off her way, aside the other one who could just be out of bad character. Some women just have bad character. They are not well brought up. They lack religious character. They even lack the traditional character that says these things are wrong. Okay, so they don't see it as anything. My husband cheats, I'll cheat back. Okay, so these are the few I can grasp for now. Maybe as one go.
Well, thank you very much. For all said, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. There are just no justifiable reasons why anyone would cheat. Now, both of you in your submission pointed out the fact that sexual dissatisfaction can be a reason why a spouse could cheat. You know, not having to touch your spouse at all, the inability to meet sexual needs of a spouse, difference in libido, little or no interest in sex at all. You know, these things all can lead to sexual dissatisfaction. Doctor, how can this be handled in preventing cheating?
You mean the sexual part?
Sexual dissatisfaction.
Well, first it begins with acknowledgement between the two. Openness that there's a problem. And none of the two should live in denial. Because we're talking about people that have been in a marriage relationship for some time.
Yes.
If they are new couples, the sex is an act and also an art.
Yeah.
The act and the art should improve with time.
Exactly.
If they are new couples. But if they've stayed for a while and there are challenges, then they can discuss. There are many reasons. If it's loss of libido, find out why. Is it about stress? Stress can deal with that. Is it psychological? Is it about changes in physiology as people? Whatever it is, it begins with openness. Is it about technique? The man and the woman should be free to discuss these things.
Communication.
Yeah, communication will help. And once you identify the problem, the solution will show. If it is medical, there are therapies that handle such issues. So the solution is problem specific. There are some that will come with counseling. There are some that will come with being free with your partner. Don't be rigid and all that. So each is the solution, like I said, is problem specific. first and foremost, the two must discuss what the problem is, and in such a way that nobody blames the other. The environment must be conducive for that discussion, because it's a very sensitive thing. Nobody should, if you sense the other partner has an issue, then deal with that issue with understanding.
Yeah.
Very important.
Being patient with your spouse as well. Now, doctor, you just said communication, but I know that there are some times where it's almost forbidding for the woman to discuss her sexual needs with her partner. In that situation, what can a woman do? Not being satisfied in this case, how can she overcome this issue when traditionally she cannot talk about it? Because there are cases of women who tried to approach their husband on these issues, and they turned out to be termed spoiled and labeled all kind of names.
Well, if we're